All right, what's up, everybody? It's Tajae, and I'm back with another YouTube video. And I think we already know what we all want to talk about today, and that is the fact that The Last of Us Part 1 has been officially announced. Now, this did happen yesterday, but I had a lot of things going on in my life yesterday, so I couldn't really upload a video or get to it. But I did want to touch on it and go ahead and talk about it because I'm sure you guys, want me to keep uploading. I'm sure you guys know that I love this franchise. You want to know what I gotta say, and this has been like a pretty big ongoing topic on just Twitter in general, even before it got announced, just because it was always rumored and stuff. So I just want to go ahead and touch on it and just talk about if it's worth it or not, because a lot of people are fucking arguing and just going backwards and forth if the shit's worth it, or if they should have did something else, or if it's a waste of resources, this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. And it just goes on. So I just want to start by saying my opinion, in my honest opinion, I really do think it is worth it. Now, this is why I say that, okay? I'm going to go ahead and explain this to you guys and give you multiple reasons. The first reason is that the first game is just outdated. Now, compared to part 1 compared to part 2, if you go back and play the original, right? The game, it's outdated. The level design is a little bit plain. The AI is really dumb as shit, and it's easy as fuck to play, even on the hardest game mode, Grounded. I used to play that shit every fucking day until part 2 came out. Literally beat the game in 5.5 hours every single time, dying maybe once or twice. That was me doing my Last of Us Flawless series. You guys already know that I did that all the fucking time, so much. I beat the game goddamn 100 sometimes, hella times, right? And the game is just easy, and the gameplay's outdated. So that's the first thing, is that one, a quality of life, I'm saying, an improvement. Second thing off is obviously the graphics. The game came out on PS3, okay? I know a lot of people, I feel like a lot of people got on the Last of Us wave a little bit later, even though it was very highly acclaimed and won Game of the Year in 2013. I feel like a lot of people really hopped on the wave around 2018, 19. From what I'm looking on Twitter, a lot of people weren't really around playing the game back in the day. I played the game first when I was 13 years old. That was on PS3, okay? We're now on PS5, and I don't care what nobody says, a remaster and a remake are two completely different things. So playing the remaster version of the game on the PS4, that's not really saying, oh, it's already looks good and holds up. Because honestly, if you want to be real, Last of Us Part 1, the old version, even the remaster at this point, it looks like fucking shit to me. The only thing it has going for itself is its pre-rendered cutscenes, that's what people use to compare anyways, which doesn't even make fucking sense because, again, it's pre-rendered. 2, all it is a fucking 60 frames with 1800p, which, yeah, that's good. To play an old game in higher frame rate and higher resolution, that's good. You're able to visually look at it and, take it. But graphic fidelity wise, that game does not hold up, and it does not look good. I don't know why people say the game holds up, it looks good, but then they only show pre-rendered cutscenes. If you go to the actual gameplay running in real time, that shit does not look as fucking good. I don't care what no one says. That shit annoys the fuck out of me. So yes, again, graphic fidelity increase along with frame rates and resolution, it all can be improved. And plus, Remake, it's built from the ground up, so it looks truly like a brand new game. So that's why I think another reason why it's worth it. It brings it to another generation of kids and adults to play it on a whole new console. So yes, another reason I want to say why I think it is worth it, and again, it's because ever since part 2 came out, there's been brand new lore to the story, as if things like the surgeon from Mr. Anderson, or Dr. Anderson, or whatever the fuck you want to call him, Abby's dad, and then also, of course, Abby can be added to the game. You know what I'm saying? Because again, those are two brand new characters that were added in part 2 that it technically existed in part 1, but they were just NPCs. Except Abby wasn't there at all, but they could add a little bit lore to it, make it cool, you know what I'm saying? Kind of how, I don't know if you guys played the Call of Duty Modern Warfare remasters, not the remake, not the reboot, but the remasters, which are pretty much remakes if you look at them, but they actually added stuff from MW3 into MW2 remaster and stuff from MW2 inside the Call of Duty 4 remaster, because in the lore of the story that was written as the games were going on, they took place in the game, but then they went back and added into it and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that's another reason why that could be cool, and you could play with part 1 to part 2 all the way through, and it'll be dope. Again, gameplay improvements. Part 2 brought a whole bunch of gameplay improvements, like the prone, building silencers and craftable different weapons on for instance, incendiary rounds and fucking explosive arrows and shit. Like, they'll be dope to have inside part 1. Okay, just, you know, expand on top of what the game already was, just with the newer ideas that y'all brought along with part 2, and just improve the quality of life of the first game. Initially, it is the same exact story, the same exact game, just improved. And that's why I think this also holds up, because I was really scared about this at first. Like, I was gonna say I think the original would still be better than the remake, but at this point, from what I've seen, I changed my mind. I honestly think the remake would be better than the fucking original, because literally the remake is the original completely. Like, literally, it looks like the exact same. Like, it looks like the game from the cutscenes and everything is the exact same. They just brought it back up. And another thing about the graphics that kills me, that people talk about this, people don't realize that the comparisons are using of those pre-rendered cutscenes, that's pre-rendered. That's why it looks good, bro. The Last of Us Part 1, like, when I say Part 1, I mean like the remake. It's gonna be running in real time, bro. Real time cutscenes, fluid cutscenes into gameplay and back in the graphic. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, that's better than, you know, cutting black, going to your, you know, pre-rendered cutscene, cuts back to the gameplay. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's, it's not as like cinematic. It's not as fluid. You know, it's outdated. And a brand new Last of Us, you know, Part 1, the remake, will be better because, again, it all runs in real time. It all flows together. It'll be dope. It'll be lit. It'll be sick. You know what I'm saying? And I don't understand why people say, like, for instance, there's people begging for like Bloodborne remake. If I'm not mistaken, Bloodborne came out in 2015, and people are begging for a remaster remake of that game. People didn't say shit about Resident Evil 4 getting announced and being remade. No one complained about Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4 is a great game. I would love for that game to be remade. No one's saying that the game doesn't need a remake. And honestly, going by Resident Evil remakes and how they do their games, bro, it completely changes. So in my eyes, I think the original Resident Evil 4 is going to be better than the remake. Yeah, the remake is going to be easier to play to today's standards, but bro, the original is a masterpiece that should not be like touched in a sense of like its actual storyline and its actual like level loop and everything. Like, I feel like if they were to do a Resident Evil 4 remake, they need to keep it the exact same. It's built from the ground up. But we already know just from previous titles like Resident Evil 2 and 3, that's not how they do their remakes, which is why I think RE4 is going to be better than the RE4 remake. But you don't see no one complaining about that shit. Everyone keeps their mouth shut on that. It doesn't make any sense. You don't see no one complaining about the Demon Souls remake. Demon Souls came out on PS3 just like The Last of Us came on PS3. Yeah, The Last of Us came out at the end of the cycle, but Demon Souls came out more like the beginning. I think like not really sure. I think it was like 06, 07. Don't take that for sure. It might be 08, somewhere around there. I'm not exactly sure because I'm not really the biggest on From Software games. But at the end of the day, that game got remade. No one fucking complained. And I was happy about it. I never got to play the game. I played it. It was lit. And from what I've seen, it stayed pretty true to the original. So like, I don't understand why it's always this big debate of, oh, this doesn't need to be made. Oh, it's a waste of resources. The only reason why people are actually like talking bad about this and hating on it is because, one, The Last of Us Part 2 was kind of bad PR, just because, like, again, some people really just did not like what they saw and what they got out of the game. So it just kind of hurt the game, and it's like, it kind of like tainted its like fan base a bit. And it did. Like, yeah, I'm gonna say that. Like, the Part 2 kind of ruined the fan base a little bit, but I still think it's a great game and I loved it a lot. So I feel like just the fact that Part 2 pissed so many people off, people are just gonna hate on the Part 1 remake because they don't really want to see The Last of Us stuff. Like, that's just what it is, you know what I'm saying? But I think the game is very much so worth buying. And again, with the price, people being mad about $70, like, who cares, bro? It's a company. They're trying to make money. They know this franchise is going to sell. Of course, they're going to price it at $70. Like, it is what, like, bro, it is what it is. You're not new to gaming. You're not new to the industry. You know they're going to fucking price it at $70. Demon Souls was $70. No one complained. Resident Evil 4 is going to be $70. No one's going to goddamn complain. So why are you complaining about The Last of Us being $70? They're just cherry picking and nitpicking and just hating for whatever reason. And it's like, it's really fucking stupid. It honestly is really stupid. So, again, I think The Last of Us Part 1 remake, I'm gonna say Part 1 because it wasn't called Part 1 before. I think The Last of Us Part 1 is worth it. Have I pre-ordered it yet? No. And that's because, again, yesterday had a lot of stuff going on. I really wanted to pre-order that. I think it's called the Firefly edition or whatever the extra edition is, and I didn't get to pre-order it because I had so much stuff going on yesterday. It was a really bad day for me, and I just couldn't get the chance to actually order it. So hopefully I can find something or the time or a connect or something to go ahead and buy that, and so I can have that, even though I've never opened my Ellie edition that I still have in my room right now. Still never opened that, which is kind of crazy, but I do want that Firefly edition, I think it's called. And yeah, I want to know if you guys are going to pick up The Last of Us Remake or The Last of Us Part 1 again. I wonder if you guys are going to play The Last of Us Part 1 and if you think it's worth it. I just want to know your honest opinions, whether you don't think it's worth it or you think it's worth it. I really don't care. I just would really like to see the discussion here inside the comment section and see what you guys think. Do you think The Last of Us Part 1 is worth it? Do you think it's a waste of time? Would you like to see another game remade? Go ahead, let me know in the comments. If you could be sure to leave a like on the video, I really appreciate that. Starting back up this little YouTube thing, I guess. And pretty much just let me know if you want to keep going. If I see the support in the comments and on the like bar and stuff, I'll be sure to drop another video here in the nearby future. And yeah, if you're new around here, go ahead, hit the subscribe button, turn on your post notifications. Let me know if you want to see another video from me. And yeah, see you guys next time with another banger, I guess. You know what I'm saying? See you guys next time. Deuces.